To play as a healer in an RPG or an MMO is an exercise in frustration. After a few hours playing with these knuckle-draggers who have no sense of self-preservation, you start to think you might be the only competent person on the planet. Such feelings of resigned futility are perfectly captured in an upcoming game called Master Healer Kale with Useless Party. Let's just go ahead and jump into things and I'll show you how this is going to work. Hey there, I'm Kale. I'm the best healer in this land. I got a quest from the king to defeat the Demon King. Okay, boomer, just get to the point. Right. Let's learn a spell by clicking on this node. I'm gonna learn how to do some healing. Kind of funny that my best healer in the land doesn't know the most basic of healing spells, but that's fine. Now we can use it to support his team, and if we jump into a battle, we can put this into practice. We've got a couple of goblins and 3 party members, who are, of course, useless. Let's start our journey and get some experience. Nice to meet you, Mr. Healer. My name is Klepon, the Archer. I thought you were the best healer. Didn't you just learn basic heal back in the tavern? That's what I'm wondering. This witch is smart. Just do your job and I'll do mine, Madeline. Grandpa Bagel, blah, 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 blah. Wait, is our tank asleep? I am doomed. Yep, that is basically how this game is going to work. So now we're entering into a bit of an auto-battler phase, but I'm not totally idle. As you can see here, our DPS, both the mage and the archer, are randomly picking some targets and fighting the goblins who are attacking my tank, who is holding aggro despite being asleep. I can use my heal, and by clicking on him here, and restore some of his health, in this case, 30 health points. Okay, easy enough. Let's move on to the next stage. 3 goblins. Cool. Now here's the problem. I have a finite amount of mana. Currently only 40 left, and it takes 10 per charge. And I do not regenerate mana in combat, so eventually we are going to run into a little bit of a problem. Let's just try to keep this guy topped off for as long as we can and pray that our DPS actually focus fires their targets just a little bit. Unfortunately, they are in fact useless, and they are basically distributing their damage as inefficiently as possible, which means we are not easily killing off these goblins and we're taking a lot of damage. And lo and behold, I am now Guess what that means, Mr. Tanky Tank? You are certainly going to die. Oh, it is the Goblin Leader. Okay, so they're going to kill Grandpa Bagel here pretty quickly, and there ain't a dang thing I can do about it anymore because he is, in fact, completely useless. Now our Archer is probably going to go down. Our Mage has like no HP, and we have to retreat, but it's not a total loss. We did still collect a few resources we can use to get some upgrades and become a bit stronger. So now we're back at the skill tree. We have 2 currencies to work with. We've got gold, which we gain the more monsters we defeat, and we have skill points, which is gained whenever someone in our party levels up. Klepon and Madeline are going to gain experience by defeating enemies, and Bagel gets experience whenever he is killed. That doesn't seem like a very good way of getting XP, if I'm completely honest with you, but okay, that's fine. Let's spend some of our gold getting focused, so now we'll get 35 health instead of only 30, and we have some new options. We can reduce casting time, or we can just have more max mana. Even one more cast might make a difference. And over here, this is where we spend the skill points. So gold upgrades us, skill points upgrades our party. We can make Klepon do more damage per arrow, or we can have Madeline do more fire damage. Let's go for the arrow, that's fine. And that could lead to other things here, like Grandpa Bagel just straight out having more HP, which is nice, but I'm out of currency, which means we're gonna jump right back into the battle. And we pick up exactly at the beginning of the same level we were just fighting. Good news is, since we are stronger, I have reason to believe we should be able to get a little bit further. Will it be enough to actually win? I don't know. Kind of depends on just how useless my party is going to be. But for now, I'll just try to keep Grandpa Bagel topped off every time he falls below 65 HP. That is going to be my cue to go ahead and do a quick trigger. Let's get ourselves some additional experience, let's get ourselves some additional gold, and just burn through this as fast as possible. I don't know if there's going to be a way to encourage my DPS to actually focus fire down a target. That would generally be the smartest tactic in this case, but they're never going to do that as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, we just kind of are always at the mercy of their random targeting computer. Tell me how that's supposed to work out for a healer. Also, I don't know if Grandpa Bagel literally ever wakes up. He might. I really don't know. I really don't know. He might actually wake up at some point in the story, but if that's in the demo, then I have not seen that up to this point. Now, will we be able to survive against Mr. Goblin Leader over here? Probably not. I've only got 1 more heal in me, and we're taking a fair bit of damage. And one thing we are unfortunately going to discover is that the boss is going to have a special attack, which is going to do a lot of damage. So at this point, it's less of a question of, can I actually, like, kill the boss? Because that's not an option. It's a question of, can I kill any of his support ads before I die? Because I'd like to get a little bit more gold. There we go. All right. Now the goblin leader is going to kill us. There goes Madeline, just waiting for Mr. Archer Kleppen over here to take his due diligence. It actually survives a couple of different attacks over here. Too bad you're not stronger. Maybe one DPS could actually get through this. Now you might think, well, this seems incredibly simple. Yeah, it starts off incredibly simple. Give it some time. Notice how many spell slots we've got? We're going to become a much more active healer as time goes on. We just have to get to that point. Let's go ahead and burst up Madeline once again. We could go for a bit of armor on Grandpa Bagel so he just takes less damage. I'm going to go ahead and boost up his HP and his armor. So armor just means that, like, I don't have to heal as frequently to keep him alive anyway. Could boost up focus to get even more HP. Could go for a reset in skill trees, which, I mean, like, that's just sort of okay, but not necessary right now. Let's go ahead and grab, let's say, healing cast time so I can see my other options. Increase maximum mana based on the total rubies collected. I don't even have any rubies, so I don't know how that's going to help me at all. Let's get myself one more upgrade to the focus and jump right back into things. Now, I'm not going to make you watch every single battle. At this point, you have a rough idea what's going to happen. I want you to see some of the upgrades we can go for, because obviously we can take on stronger and stronger challenges the more we play. Like in this case, we actually got through this first wave without even having to do a single heal. Obviously, we are improving. Bit by little bit, we are improving. Okay, we are back on the Goblin Leader, doing more damage than before. The armor is certainly making some difference, but I'm still running out of mana pretty quickly. If you guys would do me a little bit of a favor, kill off some of the little guys so we can focus our attacks, that would be great. This is my last heal. All right, you guys are on your own. Now we just sort of sit back and watch to see if this is going to work. But honestly, I think we're okay. Grandpa Bagel still be alive. Our DPS is doing their thing. Therefore, this should be an easy victory for me unless he just kind of unleashes some sort of a massive attack right now, which it doesn't look like he's going to do. There we go. Cool, we have defeated the Goblin's Cave, which gets me a lot of money, plus some skill points from all the level ups, and we even got ourselves a ruby. Cool, another currency to work with. Not gonna mess with that quite yet, but if we wanted to, we could. Rubies are used to unlock new spells. So up over here, for example, Burst Heal, which is gonna heal 100 HP, but it does cost 20 mana to do. So it's a little bit more efficient than just our regular heal is going to be. 40 for 10, 100 for 20, that's a better ratio. Does have a longer cast time, does have a longer cooldown, but these are the trade-offs we'll have to consider. Over here, we have a party heal, where we can heal everyone in the party. Not useful to me right now so long as we have a competent tank. I say competent with a bit of looseness there, but you get the idea. Could get a shield whenever Grandpa Bagel falls, could get some more max HP for our people, but I'll be honest, I think the only thing I care about right now is just trying to get a bit more damage off of our guys so we can upgrade these at least a couple more times. A little more mana would not go amiss, and a little bit of extra healing, sure, right back into the fray. Oh, but it looks like we moved on into a new stage. Kleppen, I've been wondering, how long have you been an archer? Your shots sometimes go backwards, and yet still somehow hit the target. Yeah, we call that suspension of disbelief, my friend. Must have been beginner's luck. Let's see, maybe like 2 or 3 days before I got summoned by the king? Okay, so this guy is literally like fresh out of whatever backwater farm the king dragged him from. He said he needed an archer for a newly assembled party. That answers a lot of questions that I really didn't want to hear. Yeah, okay. So now that we're getting into the next stage, we're fighting a bunch of dire rats, which somehow are indeed stronger than goblins. Very good chance that we are not going to be able to make it through the underground sewer right now, but that's okay. We'll just kill these targets and try to farm out some beautiful, beautiful XP. So far, so good. That's one stage down. Now we've got 4 rats all wailing on poor Mr. Bagel. I gotta say, this guy really could use a doctor or something. How you sleep through this, I don't totally know, but I suspect there's a serious medical condition involved. Still, we are at the very least getting quite a lot of gold out of this arrangement, which of course I, as the healer, am taking all of it for myself because I am the healer, and that makes me the priority. Despite what anyone else may tell you, I am in fact the most important member of the party, as any healer in any RPG or MMO will certainly tell you. They do tend to believe that about themselves. And when you, unfortunately, are in their shoes, I mean, it's kind of hard to believe that they're anything but right. Yeah, you are the most important. All right, we got through all the little guys. This giant fang is about to wail on poor Mr. Bagel. We're actually getting a lot further along here than I might have expected. Bagel gets some XP simply by virtue of dying, because that's just how it works for some reason. We're actually really close here. If we had a little bit more power behind us, we might have been able to beat this on the first try. That would have been cool, but no. Retreat! And we only get a couple of skill points to work with. Well, that is a shame, but it's okay. It's a-okay. I'm just going to focus on getting a bit more armor on Monsieur Bagel. Do we want to go ahead and spend our ruby? At this point, I don't know that I need to quite yet, but picking up a ruby is going to unlock additional upgrades down here as well. So, I don't know about that. Maximum mana per ruby collected. See, this is only 1 mana, though. It doesn't do me a lot of good. I'd much rather get myself even more mana. I will pick up the burst heal just so we can say that we did. So now I have a second spell to work with. That's great. Also, mana efficiency, reduce the cooldown. Well, that's nice. And then burst heal restores for even more. Okay. Well, that's all great. Back into the fray. Since we now know that burst heal is going to be a more mana efficient spell, I would much rather wait until Mr. Bagel is a little bit on the close side, but now we're going to have to start timing our heals. And that's going to get a little bit on the tricksy side. One mess up and our tank goes down, and then everyone blames me for the wipe. Now's a good time to go ahead and cast this. It's going to take 3 seconds. 100 more HP. Ha 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 ha! Suffer, ye rats. You thought you had a chance here. You saw victory before you, and it was snatched away. I take full credit for that. It feels pretty good. Now, the boss could be a bit more of a situation, because if he does his big charge-up attack at the wrong moment, then Grandpa Bagel is 100% going to go down. But this is why we have the faster heal as well. So now we can go ahead and just swap between them as we think is going to be necessary. Do I dare? I think I'm going to go ahead and start this burst heal, expecting that he's going to take a serious hit. Whoa, that got kind of close. But it was all calculated. I am, in fact, the best healer in the world, don't you know? And at this point, I don't mind just doing a couple of faster heals just to keep him nice and topped off, because we should be able to win. That's stage 2 done! Well, that wasn't so bad. All right, more skill points, a lot more money, and another ruby for me. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and pick up the party heal. Not sure I need it right now, but we'll see. Party heal restores more health, and overheal refunds mana when healing allies to full health. So it probably won't pay for itself, but if you're keeping people nicely topped off, it at least somewhat mitigates the loss if you accidentally overheal on somebody. I don't know if that's actually good or not, but I mean, like, whatever, it's fine. Let's rack up some additional damage on our DPS. And I don't really want to spend the skill points on boosting up the HP of my DPS. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, when the tank goes down, we're going down. Like, that's just how it's supposed to be. That's how nature intended it. Go ahead and pick up a little bit of extra HP on the burst heal, which leads to restore mana after every stage. There we go. So a little bit of mana regen could come in clutch for us. Maybe. We'll try it. Let's reduce... Let's go ahead and actually pick up the energy stone. I know it's not much in terms of maximum mana, but I want to see what comes down here. The tavern shows our stats. Well, that's not very useful to me now, is it? All right, we could move on into the next battle in the haunted armory. I know I'm going to lose, so let's go ahead and go back to the underground sewer, and I'm just going to farm this for a little bit. Why not? In any classic RPG, you're going to have something we love to call the grind, and that is something you have to do. You got to pay the grind tax. Hop into the sewers and kill the same monster for several hours on end in order to become overpowered for the next stage. Is that cowardly? Perchance, but it is also effective. And if there's anything I care about, it's like being cost efficient with my time, all right? Time is at a premium in my life, and I don't feel like wasting it if I don't have to. I will say the DPS are pulling their weight a lot better than they used to. We are definitely clearing through things faster. Madeline's nuke is especially useful. Cool. How quickly can we defeat the boss, I do wonder. I gotta remember that also, since I do regen a little bit of mana in between every stage, we need to make sure we do at least one heal every stage to be efficient. Otherwise, that's just wasted potential. And nobody wants that. Oh my gosh, look at that heal. 125 does go a long way. Yeah, go ahead and use your big attack. Honestly, at this point, I'm not even sure if I have to heal this guy again. Look at that, that did nothing. That did nothing. You're pathetic. You mean nothing to me. Die, Giant Fang, die. No, Klepon, that was a perfect time to just go ahead and finish him off. Whatever, he exploded in red mist. So we get a lot more money out of that. Skill points, but no additional rubies for revisiting stages, which makes sense. Obviously, you just farm out all the rubies if you did that. But it's fine. The most important thing, honestly, is just skill points, making these people a bit more effective. You know, the sad thing is, Mr. Bagel, the fact that you're not dying anymore because I'm just such an incredibly talented healer means that you're not getting any more experience. Wake up, you old fool! Ah, it is what it is. Alright, let's go to the Haunted Armory and see how well we do in this particular fight. Oh good, we have living weapons and stuff. Yikes. Grandpa Bagel, are you still alive? Well, I hear soft snoring sounds, so I guess he's still alive. Don't worry, Grandpa Bagel. If you get knocked down, I'll raise you back up again, okay? Okay. He's sleep talking. This guy's not sleeping. This guy's faking, which takes an incredible amount of discipline to get wailed on like this and not actually, like, wake up or anything, but he's committed to the bit. Really committed. Now, one big problem we just saw here. This weapon attacked our archer, which means now our party actually can start taking damage. They can get targeted. Not likely to happen, but entirely possible. This is where the party heal could become incredibly important for us so we don't waste an absolute ton of mana. I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick regular flash heal on you. Madeline's gonna get hit. Ow! Okay, one more of those hits and we got a problem here. Gotta keep an eye out on those living weapons in particular. The shields aren't a problem so far unless they're holding out on their final form. So far, not so bad though. Yeah, now we might actually have an incentive to start getting some additional HP on all of our guys. Yeah, that could be a thing. A Parasite Knight. What, are you the rip-off version of Shovel Knight? Whatever. Oh god, no! And there she goes. Madeline is down. Well, that takes care of my HP. I kind of knew that I probably should have healed her up, but I was trying to be greedy, and I immediately have been paying for that. Well, we're not winning this stage anymore because of my hubris, but she doesn't need to know that. Nobody mentioned this. Yeah, I think the lesson learned here is if we do not get some extra HP on these guys, there's no way to actually beat the Haunted Armory. Got it. Can I just say it's also incredibly kind that none of these guys are targeting me? I'm the only person who does not have a health bar. I'm basically immune to everything. That feels pretty good. Thanks, guys. There we go. Finally, we get out of there. Grandpa Bagel even got to level up for once. What do you know? All right, with those skill points, what do? We get some additional health for our guys. So let's go ahead and do that like so. What do we have here? Show Madeline's stats. Don't care, not important to me. Does more damage to enemies with full health. Useful for a first strike. Stats again. Weapon attacks have a chance of doing critical damage. Situationally pretty good, situationally. I'm gonna boost up Madeline because she seemed like the squishier of the two. Oh, what's this? Knowledge. Gain more experience points from defeating enemies or when Grandpa Bagel is down. Well, yeah, extra experience just helps me get skill points faster. That sounds pretty good. Also, casting heal increases Kale's next party heal amount. So now we're starting to look for some chain combos between our spells. Cool. Let's try not to lose this time, okay, guys? Just focus fire the living swords. That's what matters at the end of the day. No, can't be bothered? Well, okay then. Go ahead and cast a party heal now, since it looks like our archer is about to go down. Oh my gosh, that got a little bit close. And this is why we have party heals. All right, yeah, go ahead and keep spreading out the damage in the back. Now it's going to target Bagel, but that's fine. I'll just do a quick little party heal. That brings everybody back up. Now I'm starting to see we're having a little bit of extra mana regen when we top our people off. Would not be a very bad choice. Also, we're getting twice the experience over here, so that feels pretty good. Definitely concerned that Parasite Knight will still be able to one-shot all my dudes, but we'll see. Hopefully not. Maybe we'll be okay. I'm just going to hold on to my mana for a little bit until things get a little bit more dire. Waiting for Kleppen to take like one more hit. That was the hit. That was the hit right there, so let's just go ahead and top that right off. Everyone's feeling pretty good right now, except for Grandpa Bagel. We'll do one heal on him real quick, and it looks like the Parasite Knight's going to do his thing. Let's go ahead and start charging up a party heal. I did it too early, dang it. Okay. Well, I was hoping that I was going to time out perfectly so we could heal people right around the time that the Parasite Knight landed his assault. But since everyone is alive and he is on his own, looks like we will be able to finish up with Stage 3. Huzzah! Our party is not as useless as it was before, all thanks to me, because it turns out I'm awesome. Knowing this is the case, maybe we should just go ahead and get like some knowledge and we can start farming some areas out. Oh, extra gold as well. Well, I mean, like, as with all these incremental games, going for economy often ends up being the best thing you can do. I'm gonna go ahead and boost up Madeline over here, make sure we're getting plenty of goodies with this. What do we have here? Madeline learns extra magic, are attacking with an arcane strike? Ooh. So that's another use for our rubies, eh? Well, I don't know if we're going to find more spells of our own, so maybe I want to save this ruby, or maybe I don't. This could be kind of fun. It's fine, though. Back into the living armory. We're going to continue farming you for all you're worth, which, to be clear, is not very much. You're all pathetic. What I need is some AoE, or some damage over time. More dots. That's a reference, by the way, for those who are not in the know because you're just too young. That's actually a very topical reference. Once again, the Parasite Knight is going down. Easy, that's worth 11 experience. Goodness gracious me. Now, I do kind of wish that I had like a Shadow Priest spec or something, you know, where I have my own personal nuke to make use of and start burning these guys down. That'd be kind of fun. Maybe it becomes an option later in the game, I have no idea. But for the moment, it's unobtainable, so all we can do is sit around and pray that these guys don't get themselves killed. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to stage 4. The Wolves' Den, with a base difficulty of 55, which is obviously a fair bit stronger than what we had before. Not quite twice as difficult, but it's getting there. This might be a little bit of a challenge. Madeline, I'm just checking on you. Are you good? Don't talk to me, I'm busy. Ooh, what a cute puppy. This young generation and their phones. They all have ADHD and we know it. Don't let her get to you, Kale. She's the genius mage who comes every 100 years after all. Are you saying she's 100 years old or something? I don't know. No, it's fine. I'm just saying, anytime I hear this whole like, oh wow, you're a once-in-a-generation genius, I'm like, yeah, I think you guys just have low standards. You've all been waiting for somebody halfway decent for so long, you don't even know it when it bites you in the face. And by the way, this wolf is in fact biting you in the face, so maybe focus fire a little bit, for God's sake. Okay, so we do have more wolves. We've also got a familiar, which sure looks suspiciously like a bat to me, but I mean, like, okay. If it's a bat familiar, are we actually about to go fight a bunch of vampires? That would be a bit of a twist in the Wolves' Den, but I mean, like, who knows? It could be. For God's sake, kill the gosh dang familiar, though? I don't think it should be. No! Oh, the timing of that was half a second off, and we didn't save. Clip on. Oh, and there's actually 4 stages in the Wolves' Den. Okay, so we actually have to survive for a fair bit longer, and now I have a lot less DPS to work with. This might be a problem. Ah, so close to defeating this wolf. You live this day. How is she floating like that, by the way, when she's passed out? Like, is she perfectly balanced on her broom? That takes talent. Oh, let's go ahead and spend our ruby and upgrade something. I'm gonna go ahead and give Kleppen a second bow. How does he fire 2 bows? I don't know. Or is he just gonna fire the same bow, but with fire arrows? Who knows? Back into the Wolves' Den we go. And that's not just a figure of speech, that is literally what I'm doing. You are indeed firing a second bow. It'd be hilarious if the character model actually did equip this, and then we could ask the question, how are you doing this? I don't know. No one told me the rules. I only just started shooting a bow yesterday. This is all new to me. Still, as far as I'm concerned, this is almost like literally having a third-party member. He's just doing that much more all of a sudden. So to me, this is a pretty good situation. I'm quite happy to have spent the ruby there. Still wish I had some sort of really good AoE, though. Maybe if we had given the arcane bolt or whatever to Madeline, she would have been able to do that. That would have been kind of cool. Oh well. All right, looks like we are fighting a Grand Alpha. Yeah, that's a big boy wolf right there. That's a very big boy wolf. And Grandpa Bagel, for once, is actually starting to get wailed on. Okay, been a while. Good news is, no familiars. Means that I should be able to just focus on giving some big burst heals to my buddy over here. That said, I'm already out of mana. Okay. Well, if we don't survive this and burn down the boss pretty quick, then I think we're just in trouble. Oh my gosh, that hurt. Okay, maybe I should have done myself a bit of a party heal. It's maybe fine. Bagel, can you survive just a second longer while we just nuke this guy down? I think you're doing fine. Everyone pop your CCs. Now we're good to go. 22 experience. That's a pretty good amount. We got another ruby. And 7 experience points. Skill points, whatever. You get the idea. Thus is the end of the demo. Fairly quick and easy to understand, but let's take a look at a couple other things. I want to get myself that arcane magic and see what it does, okay? Can do more damage? Sure, why not? We'll go ahead and get more damage from fire arrows. Fire arrow applies a debuff that increases damage to the enemy and fireball. So everybody takes more fire damage. Now they're applying debuffs to each other. Oh, that's great. Smart targeting. Oh, be still my heart. That's the exact thing that I wanted for my birthday. Let's jump into that battle again real quick and let's just sort of see what happens. Oh, is that your arcane attack? It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it does attack very quickly, which I suppose is nice. Yeah, sure, all right, fine. I guess I'm not really complaining. The fact that we have a stacking debuff now is kind of cool, and it gives you a bit of an idea as far as like what this game could start to do. Right, like what if I have a lot more spells to work with? I don't think it's a coincidence that I got myself a good 16 slots right here. Surely we'll be able to get some pretty cool spells in the full version of the game. Also, we can see how many things we can do with our allies. Can we swap out different allies? Will Grandpa Bagel ever wake from his comatose slumber? I don't know, but I'm interested in finding out. That said, as always, a strong offense is in fact a good defense as we just start nuking down everything over here. These familiars did not stand a chance. Here comes the granddaddy of attacks. Whammo! That wasn't even that bad. You, Grand Alpha, you mean nothing to me. Look at me. I'm the Grand Alpha now. What's this? Every few attacks, arcane magic shoots extra projectiles. Every 8 attacks, it shoots extra projectiles. Then we can upgrade it to every 7. Okay. Let's take a look at something here, by the way. I just want to see, what are these stats and stuff? Madeline specifically gets more experience when defeating enemies. Well, that would have been nice to know about sooner. Okay, sure, fine. Do the same thing here with Grandpa Bagel. What do we have here? Every stage gains shield. Could have been useful. Completing a dungeon guarantees that he gets experience even if he hasn't been knocked out. Well, Mr. Bagel, turns out you actually might be somewhat useful after all. Just grabbing a few random end upgrades over here. Just looking to see, is there like something I'm missing? Clearing a stage grants gold. 1 gold? That's not worth a lot, is it? Nope. But it's fine, so let's take a look at these stats over here. My maximum mana is 98, and here's all of my spells. Okay. Madeline has these 2 attacks. Match Hail 50, level 29. What level am I? I don't have a level. That's how OP I am. I'm playing with admin privileges. Kleppen has his different attacks over here. We can see Bagel and what he's got going for him over here. Yeah, okay. I mean, I think it's a pretty cool and cute idea for a game, don't you? I mean, yeah, clearly, like, this game was programmed by somebody who used to roll as a healer in whatever game they chose to play and got hurt by somebody. And this is effectively their vengeance, a very sarcastic version of it, but it's cute, and it's fun. And honestly, it kind of builds up in a good way. It's not just an auto-battler where I sit back and twiddle my thumbs and have nothing to do. The timing and choice of spells actually does kind of matter. And as long as they're doing their job and burning everything down, I get to focus on doing my job and keep everybody alive. And at the end of the day, that's exactly how a proper RPG is supposed to work. I really appreciate, by the way, that the arcane targeting thing here always chooses whatever the weakest health target is, so it actually does do a bit of focus firing. I mean, it only matters to a certain extent. Once everybody's down to low health, it just starts picking targets at random. But still, until we get to that point, it actually ends up being pretty good. I like it. Grand Alpha, once again, ain't so grand. Very nice. All right, well, that is Master Healer Kale and the Useless Party. Pretty fun idea for a game. Curious to see how much it is going to continue to develop. Depending on just how much I can read from this, if I zoom way out, it looks like the skill tree can get absolutely massive. So they've got a lot planned right here, which could be pretty cool. If you guys want to learn more about the game, I'll include a link in the description down below. Otherwise, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.